It's your boy Red Pill Thanos, man. Coming to you live and direct from Planet Logic. Today I'm gonna discuss just how I got here, man. How I subscribed to the Red Pill. Best decision of my fucking life. I promise you. Pretty much, this is how it's gonna go down. I'm gonna get into some details. I'm gonna leave some details out because I know y'all gonna ask me some questions about this later on down the line, and it's always gonna be some juicy stuff that I reveal later on through this journey, you know what I mean? So pretty much, this is what happened. I'm originally from New York, but I moved down to VA, like right before high school. And my baby mother, she was a tomboy, big clothes, never paid attention to her. Once I was in junior high. Once I got to high school, I knew Shorty from when I first moved, because she used to hang out in the neighborhood I moved to. She pretty much glowed up. Y'all know how these chicks are, man. She's a tomboy, puberty. She started getting a little shape. Her pops letting her wear girl clothes now, And my baby moms, back then she was cute, Light skin, she had green eyes. She was mixed breed, Her mom's is like Italian or Irish or something. Her pops is black. So, she was high yellow, had the green eyes, top heavy, look curvy, so, I'm like, oh, and I knew she had a crush on me back then, but I gave her no time of day, so I'm like, oh, I bag this. So, like, I bagged, she on some, she a virgin, at that time. If you grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, mid 2000s, like, once you're in high school, nobody's a virgin. Like, the chances of you finding a virgin in high school is, like, mad slim. So, I'm like, you a virgin, so, I'm being nice to her, whatever. It was the summer before, actually, we started dating like a week after school. So I had just finished my freshman year. She was going in her freshman year. So, it's over the summer. I'm like, yo, back then you talking on a little house phone or whatever. I had a cell phone, but you couldn't really talk to nobody till like, depending on your service, after 7 or after 9. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm talking to her on the phone or whatever. Asked her to be my girl. Y'all know how that story goes. So that was over the summer. Y'all gonna call me maybe an asshole for this. I don't care. So I'm dating her, whatever. School come in, Christmas break come. I find out she was talking to dudes on my, back then this was MySpace days. So she was talking to dudes on MySpace. I should have deaded her right there. Never talked to her ever again. So like, I found this out on Christmas Eve. Me, like I said, my pops always told me to think. I don't care what day it is, Christmas Eve, whatever. I dumped her the night of Christmas Eve. It is what it is. I was like, nah. Didn't talk to her at all until my senior year of high school. And it wasn't like I was looking for her, checking for her. It just was, I lived my life, she lived hers. Like, I ain't frequent nowhere she frequent. It wasn't on purpose. It just what it was. Like, we had two different circles of people. So fast forward to spring of my senior year of high school, I'm doing my thing. Like, I dealing with multiple chicks. I got a rotation, living life, had a little job, was dressed real well. My grades was on point, never had to worry about that. I'm thinking of, I'm getting out of here. Because I looked at high school as prison. After a while, so I'm like, I'm getting out of here. I'm to college, about to be litty. Everything is cool. Well, she popped back up out of nowhere. I'm talking to her. Like, at that point in time, we were young. I was like 15 when all this happened. I'm 17, going on 18 now. Bygones be bygones. I'm like, whatever. I don't even care about that little shit. A lot of time has passed. Maybe you changed. So I start talking to her, whatever. And I'm like, yo, I know she ain't a virgin. Now I'm about to pop. It is what it is. I'm gonna kill. Nah. Still talking that virgin nonsense. To this day, I don't know if she was lying or not. I don't even care at this point. Just telling the story. So, talking to her, whatever. Alright, well, she a junior. Her birthday's early in the year, so she's 17. I'm like, she's not dumb young. She don't go to the high school I go to, because I ain't want to deal with none of the shorties that, I ain't want to take none of them to prom. I always was the type to, like, not cause a scene, but I like to make statements, like, because I don't pop out a lot. I'm an introvert. So, like, when I pop out, my presence has to be known. So I'm not going to do anything, like, outside of my character, but there's something I'm going to do to let you know, like, oh, okay, yo, he was here. So I was like, I'm going to bring her, because she don't go to my high school. None of the dudes, that's going to be at the prom really know about her. So I'm going to just pop out with somebody they never seen. Bet. So, go to prom. So I ain't even gonna hold y'all. We gonna keep it all the way 1,000. I did not kill my prom night. Like, I'm telling you, like, I bought this chick flowers, the little corsage thing. We matching. She didn't even want to dance. I sat down at my prom at the table most of the night because I didn't want disrespect to dancing with other females. Just little things like that. And like I said, none of this came from my pops. It came from society. Y'all know how this go. So pretty much, I didn't kill. Like, we go to Denny's, we chilling. Me, my bro, like one of my best friends. He's my daughter's godfather. We chilling, at Denny's, whatever. I'm like, yo, what are you trying to get into? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, I don't feel comfortable. All this nonsense. So I wanted them not even killing my prom night. Mind you, she's not my girlfriend, so I'm like, whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take you home. So I took her back to the crib. Fast forward, I graduate. I really ain't invited her to my graduation. After the graduation, I had some fam from New York come. All my best friends was there, and she came. I should have seen this as a SHIT test. She comes with her friend. Pretty much, she is like, yo, I want to hang out with you after. I'm like, bet. We go to the movies. And she like, okay, but I have my friend with me too. Me, in my mind, I'm like, oh, we about to dead this. I'm not hanging out with you and your friend who I don't care for. Nah. At that point in time, I'm like, nah. My mom's, she's like, no, don't do that. You have to be nice to women, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know how that story go. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I go ahead. I'm like, cool. We get there. And I'm doing the gentleman thing at this point because I'm like, okay, she's damn near my girlfriend at this point. I'm going to be nice. I pay for me. I pay for the girl. At that point, movie tickets was like $10. So I'm like, I got it. I got a job. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I got it. She look at me. She's like, yeah, my friend, she doesn't have any money. She's going through a hard time. Her mom kicked her out and all of this other nonsense. And I'm like, what? I shouldn't have bought the ticket for my baby moms, to be honest. So I'm like, all right, yo, I bought a ticket for shorty. I'm like, yo, you tell your friend I need my $10 in like 3 days. Because this was the weekend, I graduated. So I'm like, I need my money by next week. I'm going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like my money is my bread. Like I don't budget for, other women. Like I don't budget for women. Like it is what it is. So pretty much to this day, this was like 10 years ago, I never got my bread, B. Never got my bread. I still want my $10. I'm gonna get my $10 from shorty too, because they're still friends. Get my $10 from shorty. She just don't know. But I might ask her to borrow $10 one day and just never give it back to her. Petty.com. I'm playing, I promise you. But pretty much, fast forward, I asked her, over the summer to be my girlfriend, which I shouldn't have did because I went to college in North Carolina, so I'm going in another different state. And I knew what my mindset was, but I also had this beta mindset because in my mind, I'm like, I'm going down to North Carolina. I'm about to bug out. I'm about to dog all these country chicks. It is what it is. And I'm like, well, I don't want her because I did kill over the summer. Let me put that in there. She did give up the drawers over the summer at this point. So I was hitting on the regular. So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm going to go down there and do what I want to do. But I don't want her messing with nobody else. So let me cuff her. I'm going to cuff her so then everybody knows not to mess with her. That was my thinking. Obviously, that's not smart thinking. So, I go to school, and like I said, I'm wilding in school. Yeah, if you've ever been to a college campus, you know how it is. I'm out there wilding. I'm thinking she back home. It's her senior year. She's focusing on her grades, blah, say, blah. I got this in the back of my head. She's coming down to see me. I was only like an hour away. So she's coming down to see me. She comes a whole weekend. I'm killing on the weekends. When she's not there, I'm killing other chicks. It is what it is. And disclaimer, if you're not from New York, kill is slang for having sex with. So if I say I'm killing a chick, I'm not on no OJ nonsense. It means like, yo, we're having sex. We're getting it in. It is what it is. So disclaimer. But pretty much, I found out that her mother pushed her into going on a movie date with a dude. She didn't tell me. Somebody else told me. But me, I was of the mindset, I'm doing my dirt, but she can't do nothing. So I ended it. This was like after my freshman year. So this was in May. Before I came back home, I was like, oh yeah, we're done. We're done. Forget it. I don't even want to hear it. Wound up getting back together with her. Fast forward, I didn't go back to school. I wound up taking a year off because they raised tuition, and because I was partying so much, the scholarship I had, I wasn't focused on my purpose. I didn't keep the GPA that I needed in order to maintain my scholarship. And even with my scholarship, I still wouldn't have been able to afford it for real. But it would have made it a little better for me to go back. So I took a year off. I worked at this amusement park here, made decent money, stacked my bread, and I was thinking about going back to school, but I was indecisive on where I wanted to go. We did get back together. She took the initiative to apply to the college that she was going to for me. Now me, I'm thinking, oh, she's being a good woman. She's helping me out because, I didn't really, I had a fork in the road in my road of life, and I didn't know which way I wanted to go. She's just helping me, make the right decision, blah, blah, blah. I got in and everything. So, I'm thinking that, not thinking that, this was another tactic that women use to gain control. So at this point, she has control. Mind you, I didn't tell you in this time, that year where I was getting it in, working, because I was still living with my parents, I'm not gonna lie. I had moved back home. I really didn't have no money. When you're a freshman in college, you're not thinking of these things. So I moved back home. I'm working, getting my money up, saving, building my plans and my focus. And she winds up getting into an argument with her mother and winds up moving in, pretty much. So this was her way of getting me and her out of my parents' crib. I was going to go to school anyway, but I was of the mindset I was going to stay local. It was more cost effective. I was going to keep my job, go to school, wind up buying, renting out an apartment and doing it that way. She had other plans because this school was about 5 hours away in the middle of nowhere. We wound up going. So we get there in August and everything started to get crazy. Her mood is crazy. At this point in time, I'm like, yo, I am getting away from her. I literally was on the verge of breaking up with her, and then she said that she felt very sick. And I'm like, what you mean you feel sick? She's like, I think I have the flu and all of this nonsense. And I'm like, what? So she goes to the doctor, and I get out of class. I get a phone call. She's like, well, I don't have the flu. I'm like, so what the hell is wrong with you? Clearly something's wrong with you. You throwing your food up. You're in excruciating pain. You're getting migraines. What's popping with you? Found out she was pregnant. So I went from, I'm going to dump her, get the hell away from her, all of this, to, damn. I'm like, okay, she's carrying my kid. What can I do? And at that point in time, I had doubts that it was even my kid. But when we saw the first ultrasound picture, my daughter looked so much like my mother, I couldn't even be on some, is that even my kid type thing. And to this day, my daughter, she's 7, looks identical to my mom. So she's mine. But I even had doubts of that. Like, my mindset was, I still was trying to get away from her. So I'm like, all right, let's hope this kid ain't mine. We gonna hold it down and act like I'm on supportive right now. And once I find out that the kid ain't mine, I'm dipping. It is what it is. I'm not signing no birth certificate, none of that, till I know that the kid is mine. But when the ultrasound came out, it was kind of a nah, you can't even do that, homie. So pretty much I stopped everything. I dropped out of school. I got a job that I really didn't like. My passion was music. I stopped doing music, which led me to pretty much living a life of misery for the next 4 years, because I was 20 at the time. From 20 to 24, all I did was wake up, go to work, come home. Wake up, go to work, come home. I dropped everything. I was in a bubble. Wake up, go to work, come home. That was it. It was me, her, and the baby. That was it. I didn't have any purpose. I didn't have any focus. None of that. Until at my job, I was at a call center. I wound up taking a trainer's position. So I was training, and there was this guy in the class. He had his headset on, but his phone wasn't on. And he's just sitting there talking. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? And then I looked, and I'm like, well, I know what that is. Because like I said, music was my passion. He was rapping to himself. So I go over to him, and I tap him. I'm like, hey, what you doing? Like, you rap? He like, yeah, I got a studio in my crib. And I'm like, what? He like, yeah, you come over anytime you want to. He like, I'm like, for real? He like, yeah. I'm like, I bet. So I wound up going over there, and I was messing around. I did a freestyle, and I fell in love all over again. Hip hop is my first love. Fell in love all over again. So at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna pursue music. I have to. I started going over to my coworker's house to this point where we're forming a bond. Like, he's becoming one of my close friends at this point, and he still is to this day. Like, my daughter calls him uncle. So this happened. I was about 23. This happened. I finished my project, and I'm getting to shoot a video, and I noticed that she's starting to act out. And I'm like, well, what's going on with you? She's like, you don't pay enough attention to me. I just want to help. I want to do this for you. Now my father told me as a kid, look, son, you keep your business and your love life completely separate. Do not mix. I understood that. I live with that. So when I'm doing music, anybody I'm dealing with, the only thing you can do is be supportive. You can share my stuff. You can come to a show. But when it comes to the nitty gritty of creating, like if I'm at the studio, if I'm doing a video shoot, anything like that, you cannot be around, because I keep my business and my love life completely separate. I don't want you around. She took it some kind of way. However, at this point in time, I still had a full-time job. So I'm working full-time. I'm the breadwinner of the household, taking care of her and the baby, getting into it with all of her debt, everything. Still taking her out on dates, still doing my music. She was fine, literally. Anything I brought up, she was fine until I brought up music. Then it was an issue. So she started staying out late, and I'm like, what's going on? Mind you, this happened around my birthday. I had a show to do for my birthday, and I was home with baby girl. You know, I'm like, yo, I need you to come home because I have baby girl. I have a show across town that I have to be at 8:30. You get off at 5:30, come straight to the crib. That'll give me enough time. I can shower, get everything I need to do, and I'm gonna go to the show. I need you to watch baby girl. She comes to the crib at 8:30. And at that point, I would mentally checked out of the relationship. Mind you, we stayed together for another 2 months. And what officially did it, I was at work in November. This was a week before Thanksgiving. She calls me. She's like, the temperature just changed. It's really cold. And baby girl's coat from last year does not fit. I said, don't worry about it. Here, we had the same bank, so transferring money was easy. I transferred her money through the app. I said, go out, get her a coat, and spend whatever you need to spend. It is what it is. Make sure baby girl is fine. So I'm thinking everything was cool. I get out of work. We only had one car at the time. So she was supposed to go get the coat and then swing by and pick me up. Supposed to go home. I get a call and my mother's like, something isn't right. And I'm like, what do you mean something isn't right? She's like, I called and she said a car broke down, but she won't tell me where she is. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. I said, all right, let me call her. So I called her. I'm like, yo, where you at? You supposed to pick me up? What's going on? She's like, she's across town. And I'm like, why'd you go all the way over there for a coat? You passed like 3 shopping centers and a whole mall going over there. She's like, I went over here because I know they would have the coat, blah, blah, blah. She's like, and the car broke down. And I got my friend from work to push it to his place. Wait a minute, hold on. We have AAA. You did what? Yeah, I'm at his house with my daughter? Yeah. I'm like, where are you at? She's like, I'm not giving you the address. You're not giving me what? All right. So, backstory. My mom's, she's from New York. If you've ever been to New York and understand how the women are, my mom's, she's not to be played with. It's a very sweet woman, but a very tough woman. So she calls her and pretty much, she gets the address out of her. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, so my mother goes and scoops my daughter up, and she's at some dude's house. Everybody's smoking, drinking around my kid. And I'm like, what? So pretty much I called her. I said, look, I've changed the locks. I don't know where you're going to go, but you cannot come here. My daughter is staying with me. I'm the stable parent. It is what it is. And never got the coat for my daughter. So I was livid because my daughter was out in the cold with no coat. And mind you, this dude's house was nowhere near where she was at, where you can just push an SUV. He was a good 2-3 miles away from the mall that she had went to. No way he pushed an SUV 3 miles. Not gonna happen because the main road, the only road that led to where he stayed at from the mall, has 4 lanes on both sides, and it's the main road of the city that we live in. Impossible for you to push an SUV in the middle of that road 3 miles. So she was there the entire time, didn't want to say anything. Had my daughter around another dude. At this point, I'm livid, I'm hot. I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm single. I called out, said, you're dead to me. Everything. So from November of that year to July of the next year, I spent it trying to get my relationship back, calling her, saying I want my family back. And meanwhile, she was dealing with this dude the entire time and I had no idea. She's calling me like I need money. I'm sending her money. Mind you, my daughter's with me. She doesn't have my daughter. I'm taking care of my daughter. So I'm just giving her money off GP. Stupid. Beta, I know. Well, that friend I had explained earlier that I had met through training, I'm talking to him because, sidebar, he's a single dad of 2 boys. And I'm asking him like, yo, how did you get out of this? Because I felt lost. I felt hopeless. I'm like, how did you get out of this never-ending cycle with your baby moms? And he told me, he said, bro, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. You have to stop caring. Let it go. And when he told me that, I'm like, what you mean? He said, yo, nothing that my baby moms do gets to me. I don't show her no love. I show her no hate. I show her none of that. You just have to stop caring. So what I did was I did a lot of self-reflection. And I called them like, yo, I'm done. You're not getting any bread from me. It is what it is. The only time I want you to talk to me is when it's something pertaining to our daughter. I have nothing to say to you. Nothing. It is what it is. Fast forward, at that point in time, I'm still doing music. My music completely changes because at this point, I'm dealing with a bunch of different women. I'm killing them all, you know. And I'm at this point where if you ever heard The Chronic, then you know what song I'm going to say. Itches ain't it, but O's and tricks. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, that was my mindset at that point. I thought all women were horrible. And then, like I said, there's a lot of details that I left out because this is a long story. This story pans most of my 20s. So I think all women are horrible. And I make some songs about it. And one song I made was called Cold Day. And I'm going to play that song right here, right now. Just a snippet of it. And here it goes.
I'll never be a fucking groom. Never. I keep a couple bitches in my fucking room. It's going down. Cause bitches be your fucking doom. It be a cold day in hell before I jump a broom. I'll never be a fucking groom. Nope. Keep a couple bitches in my fucking room. No. Cause bitches be your fucking doom. It be a cold day in hell before I jump a broom. Wedding bells synonymous with devil's hell.
So there we go. That was Cold Day by me. If you want to find that, the link will be in the description. I had another song called Black Widow. And pretty much Black Widow was comparing women to a Black Widow spider. I hated all women. And you can understand how bad that was when I was raising a little girl. So I wound up dealing with this one girl who I didn't trust her. And then one day she ghosted me. And I was a little butthurt by it. I'm not going to lie. I was still in my red pill rage phase. I was a little butthurt by it. So in retaliation of that, I started dealing with this woman who was married. And it took for me to deal with that and for me to almost have a I got a story to tell moment. R.I.P. to Big. He has a song called I Got a Story to Tell about him dealing with a woman who was an NBA player's girl. NBA player comes home while he's in the dude's house and he pretty much had to rob him in the song. That's the song. Well, pretty much I almost had a Biggie I Got a Story to Tell moment where I wasn't going to rob the dude, but I was going to let her husband know, like, look, I am having sex with your wife, but that's not my problem. I didn't commit to you. She did. You deal with her, and I was going to leave the house either on my own accord or I was going to leave from the cops handcuffing me and letting me leave, because if he didn't move out my way, I was going to move him. I was going to let that thing go. So at that point in time, I did a lot of self-reflecting and I'm like, man, I cannot live like this. Why am I so focused on what women are doing and what they're saying? And I let go. And it was the best decision of my life. From that moment, life has been so much better. Like I said, I had dropped out of school years ago. I'm back in school. I have a very good job where I make good money. I have great benefits. It allows me to have a trust fund for my daughter. I have all different types of investments and everything. So life is on the upswing. And it took time, but like I said, it took time for me to get there. But this was my Red Pill Rage story. And you can get a sense of how hurt and bothered I was. This is Red Pill Thanos, and I'm signing out.